Hi lovelies, welcome to my channel. It's Dima again and you are welcome to today's video. Today's video I'm going to be sharing with you some of the mistakes that we naturals make. I'm so excited filming this video because I know it's going to solve a lot of problems. I know this video is going to help a lot of people. There are a lot of things that you may be doing as a natural that you don't know that they are detrimental to your hair growth. Sit tight and watch this video to the end because I'm going to be sharing a lot with you guys. Do not touch that like button. Keep on watching and ensure you watch this video to the end. So let's go. Recently, I've been getting a lot of questions regarding how to start natural hair journey and people being terrified about making natural hair mistakes. Today, I want to share with you some of the natural hair mistakes that you can avoid in order to keep your hair journey on the right path, because none of us really wants to fall off the wagon. So guys, the first mistake that I have on my list is use of too much heat. Yeah, in as much as heat, it can be a good thing, it can also be a bad thing. If used excessively, can actually cause serious damage to your hair that may actually cause you to go for a second big chop or to go for a big chop. Yes, heat can be that dangerous. Try to use heat in moderation. Do not use excessive heat on your hair. In cases where you have to use heat, make sure that you regulate it to the point that it will be okay for your hair. And secondly, you have to use a heat protectant. There are products sold out there which can help protect your hair from heat damage. Go for those products, get them, use them on your hair before using heat on your hair. It can be very damaging to hair, and if you take precautions, you can avoid this mistake. Number 2, the second mistake that you may be making is tight hairstyles or updos. Tight braids, tight styles, tight updos. You may be in the process of trying to slick your hair, not knowing that you may be causing damage to your hair. Better you leave it loose than getting it tight and thereby losing your edges. Try not to get tight hairstyles. If you really want your hair to look healthy and stay beautiful, try not to get tight hairstyles. Tight hairstyles don't grow hair. I can't overemphasize that fact. In the process of getting those tight hairstyles, you can actually cause some headaches for yourself, which I'm sure you don't want. For it to cause headaches for you, that means your hair is uncomfortable. So such tight hairstyles shouldn't be done on your hair. Any hairstyle that causes bumps on your edges, on your naps, on your scalp should be taken down immediately, else they can cause damage to your hair. Make sure that the styles that you're getting are not so tight to mess with your edges or your naps. Most of the time you feel that the hairstyles are not tight, but the extensions are long. Length of such extensions can actually pull on your edges. Yes, if you have lengthy styles like those braids that get to your waist, those lengthy braids that get to your waist, they can actually pull on your edges. You may be feeling that they are not tight enough, but not knowing that they're actually pulling on your edges. And when you take down such styles, you'll be amazed at how much damage that must have caused to your hair. So guys, try to do everything in moderation. The next mistake that you may be making is not sleeping on satin, be it satin bonnet or satin pillowcase. A lot of us tend to sleep on cotton materials, and you know moisture is very essential for our hair growth. Kinky hairs love moisture. Cotton materials can actually absorb all the moisture in your hair because they are cotton and they are very, very absorbent. They can actually soak up all the moisture that you have in your hair by morning, and you'll be amazed. You may be thinking that your hair is losing moisture fast, not knowing that it's the cotton material that you're sleeping on that is actually soaking up all the moisture that you have in your hair. Satin materials don't absorb moisture. They can't absorb moisture. That is why we always recommend that for naturals. Satin materials, silk materials, these are materials that don't absorb moisture, and these are the materials that you should sleep on. These are materials that are cool on your hair. They are hair friendly. They don't cause you to lose moisture. They are just very comfortable for your hair strands, if I'm permitted to say so. Number 4 mistake: skipping deep conditioning. Yeah, a lot of us skip deep condition on our wash days. Deep condition is what helps your hair to be manageable enough. Deep condition, on the other hand, is what helps your hair retain moisture. It also helps with moisture. You can imagine not deep conditioning, and you see somebody not deep conditioning coming out to say that her hair is dry, she can't manage her hair, she can't comb it. That's because you are not deep conditioning. Deep conditioning helps with manageability. It helps you manage your hair. It helps you comb your hair without tears. You shouldn't skip deep conditioning. A lot of us with fine, thin, natural hair tend to deep condition less often. That's because our hair is soft. That's because our hair is fragile, and too much of that can actually cause our hair to be limp. But for those of us with thick 4C hair, you need to deep condition on every wash day. You need to deep condition weekly if possible, because that's what helps your hair to be soft and manageable enough for you to be able to manage and comb your hair. Do not skip deep conditioning. Try to get a good deep conditioner today. The 5th mistake that you might be making is avoiding trims. In as much as we all want to retain length, we all want waist length, mid-back length, shoulder length, it is imperative that you trim split ends. Split ends is what can cause your hair not to be healthy from top to root. If you frequently trim your hair on a schedule, your hair can actually thicken up and grow healthier. Get regular trims on a schedule. That way you are minimizing shedding and hair breakage, because once you leave split ends, those knots on your ends, they can actually travel to your root and thereby causing serious damage for you. That is why most of us are stuck at same length all year round. That's because you're not trimming as you should. Those weak ends needs to go. They need to go for new ones to come up. If you keep on leaving them and not trimming them, they can actually damage your hair, and at the same time make your hair remain at the same length and not growing. Those split ends are one of the hindrances to hair growth, because if not trimmed, can cause damage to your hair. The 6th mistake that you might be making on your hair is deep conditioning overnight. Guys, if there is anything that must go with 2020, deep conditioning overnight should go with 2020. Guys, this is 2021. You need not deep condition overnight. Who does that? Avoid deep conditioning overnight. You are actually causing more damage to your hair than good. A lot of us think that that's what makes their hair manageable enough, but no, you're actually over processing your hair. Your hair needs to have some bounces. Avoid deep conditioning overnight. It's not proper. The next mistake that you might be making is not understanding how to moisturize your hair properly. A lot of people complain that their hair loses moisture fast. That's because you are not moisturizing your hair properly. First of all, the first way to solve this problem is by understanding your hair porosity. How fast does your hair lose moisture? How much does your hair retain moisture? These are questions you should ask yourself. Try to figure out your hair porosity. That way you know how you can moisturize your hair and it will retain moisture. We have the LCO method. We have the LOC method, LOCC, name it. Figure out the best moisturizing routine that you can adopt that can help you retain moisture. Our kinky hair loves moisture, and therefore you should give your hair moisture. Feed your hair with moisture and it will flourish. Figure out ways that you can keep moisture in your hair. Most of us think that spraying water on our hair is just the best way to moisturize our hair. There is more to that. It's not just about spraying water on your hair and thinking that you have moisturized your hair. No, there is more to that. Figure out the best way that you can moisturize your hair and the moisture will be retained. Adopt that method and you will definitely love it, and your hair will definitely flourish. The next mistake that you might be making, that's number 8, is using the wrong tools. Yes, a lot of us use the wrong tools. In the process of trying to slick your hair just for you to get the best curls ever, you try to use rat tail comb. Rat tail comb, I mean those combs that has tight tooth. Try to use those combs to comb your kinky hair. This you're causing more damage than good. Try to use your fingers first before using wide tooth combs. Use combs that has wide tooth on them instead of using rat tail combs. Those rat tail combs are actually what you should use to part your hair, just to give you clean and nice parts. Try to use wide tooth comb. If you really want your hair to be full, I think you should ditch comb at some point. Do more of finger detangling. A lot of us love to use the wrong tools. Sometimes your bobby pins have rusted and they have some issues on them, but you still use them. You're actually damaging your hair by using such tools. Figure out the best tools that work for you. Please check my description box for a video on the 12 hair tools that every natural should have. I shared 12 must-have natural hair tools. Check it out, watch that video, and then get them and use them. The next mistake that you might be making, and that's my number 7th point, is only co-washing. Most of us believe that co-washing is what helps us retain moisture, but not knowing that co-wash doesn't properly clean the scalp. Get proper shampoo, clarifying shampoos, sulfate-free shampoos. These are all you need to cleanse your scalp of build-ups. You don't need co-washing. I'm not saying co-washing is bad, but don't substitute co-washing for proper hair wash. Get proper shampoo and cleanse your scalp. Co-washing does not cleanse the scalp, rather it causes build-up. And the next mistake that you might be making, and that's my number 10 point, is comparing your hair journey with others. Never compare your hair journey to someone else. It only leads to frustration. You have 4C hair and you want your hair to look like 3C hair. You have 4C hair and you want to get a style that is being done on 3C hair. Tell me, how does it relate? 3C and 4C, they are not same hair types. They are different hair types. Barb me the type of hair you barb my neighbor. Is the shape of your head the same as that of your neighbor? This is the question you should ask yourself. Stop comparing your hair with someone else's hair. You have 3C and you want your hair to be 4C. That's not possible. That's not going to happen. It can never happen. You see someone with 3C and you go ahead to get same product as that person. How is it going to work? How is that going to be possible? Love your hair, cherish your hair, and your hair will love you back. What works for Mr. A might not work for Mr. B. There is no particular formula to all this. Figure out what works best for your hair, follow it, and you will be happy. Next mistake that you need to drop, that you might be making, that need to go with 2020, is over manipulating your hair. Every time you have your hands in your hair, hand in hair syndrome. You need to stop that this 2020. Try to leave your hair to rest. Every time you're busy complaining that your hair is not growing, meanwhile you're always getting different hairstyles. Every week you're getting different hairstyles. Try to leave your hair alone. Allow your hair to rest. Most of us love to touch our hair. Even without doing anything to our hair, we just love to touch our hair. Try to leave your hair alone. Get a protective style that is suitable for your hair type. Allow your hair to rest at least 1 to 2 weeks before trying to figure out another protective style to get for your hair. Leaving your hair alone is one of the biggest miracle to getting thicker hair and also minimizing hair loss. Because the moment your hair is in a protective style, you're letting your hair do its thing. That moment your hair is resting. The amount of shedding that you would have encountered by touching your hair all the time, that way you must have minimized that just by leaving your hair alone. Try to leave your hair alone, sis, and you'll be glad you did. Now my final thoughts. We can all make mistakes when it comes to our natural hair journey. I did same thing when I was starting out newly. It's okay to make mistakes. Hopefully with these tips that I've mentioned in this video, you can avoid a good number of such mistakes. It's fine to make mistakes, but what are you doing to help to curb those mistakes? With these few tips, I believe it can help you minimize such mistakes, because mistakes must happen. Nobody is perfect. I hope these tips that I've shared will help you get on finding what really works for you, and I'm sure you will definitely love it. I wish you all the best on your hair journey and all the best on your hair goals this 2021. That ends today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate each and every one of you. Each and every one of you is very important to me, and I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you enjoyed it, please give me a thumbs up. Do not forget to share my videos with your friends. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in my next video by God's grace. Bye, loves.